Hi, absolutely wild. I tried to do a tarot reading like 7 times, and then I thought I finally nailed it, and then it turned out my photo booth didn't record it at all. So now here I am on my phone. I'm gonna get this message to you. I'm gonna do a tarot reading. I pulled the cards. I have the message. The first thing I think we have to say is that the fact that it took me so many times to get it right in the first place, there's a lot of information, a lot to process, a lot coming at us. The image I got was kind of like an energetic tsunami. Of course, not an actual tsunami, but there's just this like big wave of energy coming, and it's positive. It's all very positive, and I'll talk more about that. But and part of the message is that there's a lot to digest and there's a lot to process. So there is that. Patience and grace, like being gentle with yourself, being compassionate with yourself, huge right now because it is what it is. And then the message not recording and now me having to do it for the millionth time. What's looking at me right now is this Three of Swords. Originally, the Three of Swords was not a card I pulled, but it was at the bottom of the deck multiple times as I was shuffling, and I kept noticing it. So I pulled it out along with the Devil to say, hey, these energies are present in the reading and they're a factor and we should just briefly mention them. And now I'm starting the message with them. I want to say that I feel like with this energy, I'm getting something that feels very, very sticky. I mean, it's not present energy because, remember, I never really pulled these cards. They just are an energy that I noticed that was present, so I felt like they were worth addressing. The fact that they were at the bottom of the deck, I was actually kind of avoiding them at first. It was a reason I kept trying to do the reading over and over again because I didn't want to talk about this stuff. So before I even go into the good stuff, I think it's worth mentioning there might just be this like intensity, this fear, this kind of like this devil, this like these chains, like there might be something that's kind of trying to sabotage us. It might be self-sabotage. And I'm not saying that to scare us at all. There's a lot of tarot readers who are like, oh, you can't make this stuff up. And I think I am making this stuff up, you know? So only take this message if it resonates. Don't worry about it if it doesn't. And I'm not trying to scare anyone ever. I'm more so saying there might be this like, yeah, I just feel this like stickiness of like kind of like I've stepped in something and it's hard to get out of it. What the image I'm getting now is I just watched The Princess Bride. And so this image is kind of also like being in the forest. Oh my God, why am I not remembering the name of the forest? God. Okay, whatever. You know, with the rodents of unusual size and the quicksand pit. It's like something so good is about to happen, truly, that I just feel like there's this resistance, this inertia, this kind of like past wounding, past trauma that really doesn't want to let go of you. And the only reason why it's grasping so hard is because the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. This really is what the crux of the reading is about. We have the Chariot. We have the Emperor. And we have the Magician. So these were the three cards that I feel like really are like the base of the pyramid. And I'll get back to that tsunami. Okay, situation. So we have the Magician. I feel that you have been doing a lot of inner work, a lot of beautiful inner work. I was talking about this card as like, you know, that you've mastered the elements essentially as much as anyone can master them. to go to the next level, to level up, glow up, energy time. We have well, let's start with the wands. You know, it's like you have like the passion, you have the dream, you have like the spark, you have the kind of like audacity is a big word. Yeah, you have the audacity to do it. And I think that's kind of like fiery energy. Like you're just willing to make these moves. You have the volition, you have the cups, you have like this emotional maturity, you have this kind of like self-understanding, you have this empathy, you have this self-compassion, you have compassion for others, you have done a lot of like, you know, like I said, like healing around kind of your own wounds, and so you're able to respond rather than react, and you're kind of able just to navigate challenging situations with a lot of like, you know, yeah, like ability to kind of negotiate and understand where other people are coming from. I feel like that's like a lot of the cups energy, like understanding emotions. It's very King of Cups. And then we have the swords. You have like clarity, you have good communication, you have kind of great ideas, you have kind of these ability to articulate kind of like your ideas and stuff. And maybe I could work on that. I don't know. And then we have the pentacles, which is like there's been like a lot of discipline, and you've been mastering a craft, and you've kind of been working at what it is that like is your dream. And so it's like, you know, if you're a musician, it's like you've been practicing your scales. If you're whatever it is that you do that's your gift, it's like you've been working at it. So all of these like kind of elements combined, it's like I really feel like you're just at this point with this infinity sign where you're unblocking yourself. And then, okay, the Emperor, you know, it's like you're at this point where you're owning yourself. You have this self-authority. You have like this sense of sovereignty, like self-sovereignty. So it's like, I think you're willing now more than ever to kind of like take these creative risks, put yourself out there, really own yourself, really own who you are, really like let yourself shine, really kind of claim your power. And that doesn't mean power over others. It just means that it's like, you know, you like believe in yourself, you know, maybe like this is like the first time in your life you've like really fully, truly believed in yourself wholeheartedly. And that is turning into this Chariot card where there's just this like really intense forward momentum. And what I see with the Magician too is that you're just basically becoming a very powerful manifester. And so when I talked about that tsunami of energy coming, it wasn't bad. It was like more that you've been trying to call in all these dreams for your life, you know, and whatever the dream is, it might have at one point seemed impossible, and you might have given up on it. You might have felt defeated. Again, that goes back to kind of where I had to start the reading, was like this stickiness. Like this might have been like a dream. Like, for example, this might have been a dream of yours for like the past 10 years, longer, 20 years, 30 years, your whole life. Who knows, you know? But, and like it might have at many times seemed like this is just never going to happen. And like, I'm always going to have my heart broken, or I'm always going to be like stuck. I'm always going to like fall back into old habits. I'm always going to like, you know, whatever the narrative has been that has been kind of like holding you back. The Devil might also just be like self-defense mechanisms that you've created out of safety. So for example, like if it is like a fear of visibility, it's just like shrinking yourself, making yourself small. The devil, you know, might feel safe, but we're moving into this. So it's like this wave of energy coming at you. It's like all the things that have been on your like manifesting lists, your vision boards. Maybe it all just seemed like it wasn't going to happen. Maybe it all just seemed stuck or very delayed, and like to the point where you're like, I don't even believe in this anymore. But now it's all happening. It's all coming. There's like evidence of it. It's like unfolding. And it's all because you've claimed your inner authority, and you're like kind of, you know, because they do say like your outer reality reflects your inner reality. And it's like you've done so much work on your inner reality that now your outer reality is being forced to like meet up with it. And so there's all these great changes, and like it's forward momentum. And with the tsunami, again, it's more like this big wave of energy that is like life changing. And I see it more so as like this tsunami is coming in for you. You know, it's not like destructive. It's more like, think of it more as just like a really big wave. And you've been learning how to surf. Like that's kind of what this magician is about. Like metaphorically, you've been learning how to surf. And so the big wave is coming in deliberately for you to surf. It's like a wave that you were meant to catch, and a wave that is meant to carry you forward. We got the Knight of Swords. So it's like, you know, if you've been in a boat, like a sailboat, it's like this giant, like this huge gust of wind at your back, like at your sails. Like it's fast forward momentum. It's very speedy. So it's like kind of like also like, you know, have you seen those like exponent graphs where it's like straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line, and then there's just finally this like thing that clicks, and then like the graph goes like, it's like been like this, and then it goes straight like up. So exponent graphs. It's kind of like that. And with this, and with this like Knight of Swords, I kind of get that it's like, you know, the domino, like you kind of like knocked over the correct domino to get things going, and now like all the dominoes are falling, and it's like just this kind of like positive vortex of like your life changing overnight is the vibe. So what are you calling in per se? Well, I pulled from the Iris Oracle, and I got the cornucopia and the twin energy. So I do think this is like just dreams come true. With the cornucopia, it's like abundance. So again, like I think, and also with the eye, I feel there's more visibility for you. So like whatever, and like you don't have to be like trying to be famous or something, you know, but visibility can still just be like being recognized for what you've been doing, and like kind of being like compensated or rewarded or acknowledged for all that you've been doing this whole time. The twin energy is like a counterpart, a divine counterpart, a soulmate. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be like the love of your life is coming into your life. It can be like the creative partner of your dreams is coming into your life. So, you know, I think about like, oh, you know what's coming to me now? This is the first time I've had this message while I've been trying to get this out, but it's kind of like almost like Lindsay Lohan vibes, honestly. Like, I think she's kind of a good example. Lindsay Lohan had this kind of past, right? She went through some stuff, and it was dark. She had probably some heartbreak. She was definitely addicted to a lot. And then she had this kind of like healing energy. She did have this glow up. She did kind of like get her house in order, her inner house in order. Like I think she's sober now. But whatever she's done, she looks beautiful. She's back at it. She's back in the game. She's got kind of like her power back. Like, yes, externally, but also like internally, she really like showed up for herself and did the work, and now she's kind of being rewarded for it. And now she's working with Jamie Lee Curtis again, you know, and she's kind of like getting what the seeds she's sown in her life are now reaping a harvest. So that's just a little example. And you don't have to be Lindsay Lohan, obviously. Actually, she does have a song called like Back to Me. I think that might be a good song that I would recommend. So I was going to look for my phone, but like I'm recording on my phone. Okay. So essentially that's like what's happening is you are catching the wave of your dreams, and it's like propelling you forward in this really momentous, magical, huge way that is changing your life overnight. It doesn't have to be a redemption comeback story like Lindsay Lohan, though. It could be like, this is the first time this is ever happening. This is the first time you're like meeting these circumstances. And honestly, that's more likely than a comeback in a way for you. Because I see here we have these two cards, the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. The Nine of Swords is anxiety. And the Ten of Swords is the end of a cycle. So with the Ten of Swords, I keep getting that it's like the cat's out of the bag, or like the genie's out of the bottle. Like your life, because these changes have been made internally and now your external reality is reflecting them, it's like there's no going back to kind of this version of you, this like heartbroken, stuck, kind of like trapped version of you. That's done. You know, like consider this the devil with the 10 swords in the back, really. Like you're not here, but with the 9 of swords, it just feels like there's like a little bit of like anxiety that might be pertaining to this past stuff coming up, fear of the past repeating itself, like maybe like a little bit of lack of trust, or like for example, if you were surfing a huge wave, it's probably exhilarating. It's probably really fun. It's probably like being on a roller coaster, but there might be times on that roller coaster where you're like, what? Like what? Imagine, for you, if you will, it's like a little bit like a psychedelic trip. I'm not saying take drugs. I'm just saying like there might just be these like kind of feelings that come up in these positive circumstances that aren't always like the best feeling. It doesn't mean anything actually is wrong or bad. Again, to go back to this, it's like, let's say you do meet the love of your life and that person's really nice and supportive and like you can trust them, but like there might just be like, can I trust them? Or like, am I gonna ruin it? Or can I trust this? Is it too good to be true? It's just a little bit of like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and the other shoe isn't gonna drop. You know, like this is a new chapter of your life. It's just kind of like I said, I had to record this message a million times to get it out. And it's just sort of like even when like the last time I did this, I thought like, oh, I got the message out finally, and then didn't record. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do it again. So like, are good things happening? Like, yes, it's just sort of like, I think that the way I want to put it is that there's like a need to let things kind of find equilibrium again. You know, there's huge change happening, and that in and of itself is just like kind of like demanding and has new challenges and has new obstacles per se. Okay, I went to go visit Zoltar, and Zoltar told me, you know, like the guy, the like box that you go to outside of, like on the pier or whatever, and then you put $1 in and he spits out a card. So Zoltar's message, it's in Big, the movie. Okay, Zoltar's message to me was like, you know yourself better than anyone, and that's the Emperor, right? You know what you like, you know what works for you, you know what doesn't, you know what resonates, you know what you want, you know what you've been through. So do you, right? Like, do you. That's definitely this Emperor energy. And don't care what anyone else thinks. Who cares what anyone else thinks? But I do see maybe some people caring about what you're doing. I see the 7 of Wands is kind of like feeling like you need to fend yourself off from other people, kind of feeling a little self-protective, feeling a little vulnerable, feeling like, especially with like maybe more visibility, you feel more exposed, and so you feel more like. And then the 5 of Wands just feels like a kerfuffle. It feels like conflict. It just feels like people having things to say. And I think a big part of that is because with a huge momentous change in your life, it either directly or indirectly is going to impact other people around you. And it doesn't mean you're doing anything to anyone. It's just other people might see like your success, because we do have this 6 of Wands. They might see it and they might be like, why am I not successful? Like, why does that person get to like channel all of their manifestations? And like, why is that person like good at manifesting and getting everything they ever wanted, and why am I not, you know? Like, so then now I feel like I have something to say, or I want to say like they don't deserve it, or like, you know, I'm not saying negative things like that will happen for you. I'm more just saying these wands energies just feel kind of like a little bit of turbulence, you know, like along the journey. Like you're on this major life-changing forward momentum path that's kind of like a rocket ship almost, especially with this. And then other people might be like, you know, having their 2 cents. And I don't think this is bad or like it even matters. Like, I don't think anyone's even gonna like it. Like, this doesn't feel relevant, like in that it's gonna impact you in a way that will prevent your blessings from coming in. Like, I don't think anything can stop or prevent your blessings from coming in, not even you at this point. But it might lead to just this feeling of ennui, you know, which this is a card of ennui. This guy is dissatisfied with these 3 cups and kind of ignoring this 4th cup that is the Ace of Cups that the universe is trying to give him or her or them, and is like, you know, with this card I got Is That All There Is by Peggy Lee, and that was kind of a synchronicity in my life as well. And that song is just kind of like, you know, all these like big major life events happen, but sometimes like it can be so overwhelming that we just are kind of like almost like start to numb ourselves to it. And the message of that song is like, life has its ups and downs, but like hopefully we can just have a good time and like dance and not take all of it so seriously. So that is sort of a message. And also I got the Page of Pentacles, and what I got with the Page of Pentacles is that like, because it's such fast forward moving energy that's like kind of insane, it's like you are allowed to remind yourself like, this is a new beginning in my life. This is a new chapter. I am learning things. I don't have to have it all figured out. I am building the new like foundations of like what these changes are bringing. And again, grace and patience. And, you know, even like I had to do this reading a million times, and then the one time I got it right, it didn't record. So then I'm doing it even again. And so it's like, but like, give yourself the grace to do that and like kind of perfect something. Like, because it's like, even though you've like basically learned how to become a powerful manifester, and even though like all of this like victory and success and abundance and like some support is coming in for you, it doesn't mean that you have to have it all figured out at once. So like, for example, an example that's like tangible with all of this is you like really wanted this dream job, and it's like the dream job is in another country, right? And you've been like really learning to like own yourself and like your gifts and know how valuable you are and like how much you have to offer. And like, you've really started to believe in yourself and believe that your dreams are possible, and you're not settling for less anymore with this Emperor, and you're really like kind of going for the gold, and then you get the job, right? So then this is like maybe you moving across the country to get the job. And then this is like, oh my God, did I make a mistake by like having this dream, you know? Like, because like once I move, like, I mean, yes, you can move back, but like you're kind of making a commitment on some level. Like, you can't, like, it's like if you're like selling your house to move across the country, like then with this 10 of Swords, it's just kind of like you're like this change is like bringing in the ending of a chapter. So you're kind of having to like contend with that. There might even be a little bit of grief around like, wow, I'm really never going back to that, you know, even if it was a bad relationship per se. Like, maybe this is you getting out of a bad relationship, and it's like, that's all good, but maybe you're even like, you know, even when you get out of a bad relationship, you can like have your doubts or be like, oh, did I make a mistake? Or like, should I have like tried to make it work with? No, but like this is just coming up. And I think it's not something I should focus on so much. I think the only reason I do keep mentioning it is just because it's like, it's more like swords are the mind and the stories we tell ourselves. So this feels more just like kind of the mind trying to protect itself against change, even though the soul is on this like larger journey towards like, frankly, what is your destiny and what is like meant for you, and like your truest actual true self, like where you like really are who you're meant to be. And then, you know, like maybe this is like your family being like, no, don't move across the country, and you being kind of like, but I'm going to, and like I want to, like, and then, you know, with this, it's like maybe you feel a little homesick when you get there, and you're like, like what was all that for? Like, this is supposed to be this really happy moment for me, and I'm feeling like this Four of Cups energy. But the universe is reminding you, no, this is an Ace of Cups moment, you know? Because like in this new country, you're gonna meet like your soulmate, the love of your life. You're gonna like build the life of your dreams where you like are actually happy and not just settling for like kind of less all the time, and where you're really being honored and acknowledged for your gifts. So then this Page of Pentacles is just like, hey, this is a new chapter, and like you're at a new job, and like maybe you're with a new partner. So like, yeah, grace and patience, like give yourself time to like learn this new landscape that you've been transported to by this giant metaphorical wave. And give yourself time to step into kind of like having fun with all of this too. Like that this is all really what you've been dreaming of your entire life, and on some level is what I was getting earlier. Like it's something really exciting, and like you do deserve it, and you are worthy of it, and it is for you, and it is something you can trust, and you have like changed and like become the person who has enough power to hold all of these new blessings in your life, so you're not going to mess it up. Like you are very extremely capable of meeting the new challenges that come up, but that doesn't mean that they're not like really fun. And like also with this card, I get like people are looking up to you now, so like that might be weird. You might be like, why are people looking up to me? Like a week ago, like no one gave me the time of day, and all of a sudden they want to know my name. But it's like with this, it's like great power becomes great responsibility. It's like you have this power now, and it's not external power per se that like, you know, you get to like boss people around, as much as it's just like, you know yourself, your worth, you have boundaries, you're like solid in like what you are worth. And so like people can't like F with you as much anymore, and that's reflecting back again into like people are respecting you, and like you deserve that respect. They should have always respected you, but like I think you're just kind of like getting it. Okay, so that is the message I think it recorded this time. So basically, to recap, you have manifested an extremely positive change in your life by doing the inner work and like kind of aligning with yourself and aligning with something greater than yourself, claiming your power. And in doing so, it is like sending you on this kind of like rocket ship of like transformational change in your life that is bringing in everything you've ever wanted, or many things that you've wanted, that you've been trying to manifest for a long time, that you thought might never happen. Counterparts, support, people who get you, best friends, love, relationships, abundance, recognition, more like ability to kind of like do what it is that you do that is like unique and special to you. In doing so, some stuff is coming up, but this stuff is just coming up initially, you know, it's not the full story. It's just that there's, again, a lot to process. There's a lot to process because there's a lot of change. And so just remember that this is like an Ace of Cups moment, really, more than anything. And that it's a victorious moment in your life, and that you worked hard for this and you deserve it. And the more fun you can have, and the less seriously you can take the harder parts of the change, the more you'll just get to fully enjoy it. So that's my message. I love you. I'll see you again whenever I see you. Bye.